Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. In this video we're going to be looking at glass sealants, and in particular 3 products from the legendary Glaco range by Soft 99. We're going to be covering what you shouldn't be doing with your windshield and what shouldn't be happening, and how to get the most out of these glass sealants with some real top tips on application, and the difference really between unprotected glass and protected sealed glass, and why you should consider using one of these products. A warm welcome back to the channel, guys. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Now, if you've been following Forensics Detailing channel, you know I'm a big fan of the Soft 99 Glaco range. Now, Soft 99 have probably the largest suite of glass protection products known to man or beast on the face of the planet. I think there's over 11, do not quote me on that, products that you can use for various glass sealing functions. In this video, we're going to be looking at 3 of their core products that really are all about providing visibility on your front windscreen. The first product is their original Glaco glass sealant formula that you see in this big orange bottle. The next product is their Glaco Ultra, which is a different Fuso fluoropolymer technology, which was introduced, I think, because it provides extra durability and a bit of dirt repellency characteristics. And then we have the latest generation of glass sealant with the Glaco DX, which just comes in this rather snazzy applicator, and really its main claim to fame is the hydrophobicity, or hydrophobidity as I call it. Now, something very important with glass sealants. When you put a protection product on your car's paintwork, you're doing it primarily to create a barrier between you and the environment. And that barrier takes the punishment. The contamination, fallout, glue, road tar, anything that's going to get stuck and embedded into your paintwork has a harder time of doing that when you've got like a layer of wax or ceramic coating or sealant. It's slightly different with glass, because glass doesn't need protecting like paintwork. It's not like a, it's not like a liquid that's sprayed on there that goes hard. It's a very hard, durable material. So that's the first thing to understand. These products aren't there to protect the glass and enhance the durability, or even to protect against stone chips and, contact chips and all that sort of stuff. They are there primarily to provide a slick, hydrophobic layer over your windscreen that, when it's raining and in winter conditions, makes visibility improved, and there's less reliance on the wiper blades to clear that film of water. Okay, so you get better visibility from a hydrophobic layer. Now, what does a hydrophobic layer do? Creates lower roll down angles with water. So if you have a glass sealant on your front windscreen, what you should notice is that if you're driving along at, say, 30 or 40 miles an hour, you start to see the water droplets that are on the glass just kind of fly off on their own accord without you having to put the wiper blades on. If they're not there, what you see is a hydrophilic finish. So if the sealant isn't there, you see a hydrophilic finish. So when the water hits the surface of the glass, it spreads and forms a film. And that film of water over your front windscreen disturbs the visibility. So if you're looking through water, the image is going to be blurred. You're not going to be able to see what you're doing. Indeed, you've probably experienced that, where it's howling down with rain and your windscreen wipers aren't working that well, but you're still waiting for the swipe to be able to see what's going on, okay? So this is all about safety, improved visibility. Primarily, guys, there are some benefits with these products that we've looked at that I think some of the new technologies like the Glaco Ultra seems to help reduce that horrible white film salty build-up on the screen. I don't know why, but PTFE perhaps has some, or fluoropolymer has some dirt release properties, and that's why you see it used in other technologies that where that's a benefit. So there's a little intro on why you should consider using these particular products. I talked about in the first intro what you want to avoid happening with your car. What you want to avoid happening is having zero protection on your front windscreen. You also want to avoid having old wiper blades that have gone stiff and cracked, because you need your wiper blade rubber to be nice and fresh and new and flexible, because that will reduce any risk of wiper judder, which is another problem you can get with your windscreen wipers. You also want to avoid the situation where there is horrible conditions, you know, there might be road salt, a little bit of rain, where you're constantly on the wiper blades to get your front windscreen clear. You ever driven along and like the conditions aren't great, and you leave that lever on and you're almost squirting water at your front windscreen every like 30 seconds so that you can see. It shouldn't be like that. You should be focused on the driving. The front windscreen should be taking care of itself on a modern car. And these products, these three products are going to help you get there. So next up, how do we apply these guys? How do we get the most out of them, and some tips on application? Well, the first thing with all these Soft 99 products, or the three we're showcasing here, they all come in bespoke applicators, which means you don't have to go and get additional tools. So everything you need to get it onto the glass is there. You will need some microfiber cloths to wipe them off later on. We'll cover that. Now, you'll hear the cliche in detailing, prep is key, or prep is critical, pick. This is true, okay? It's true of paintwork preparation, it's true of glass sealant preparation. Now, three things. One, check there is no contamination on the glass. The glass should feel smooth, okay? It might not feel silky before it's clean, but it should feel smooth. There's little bumps and little bits of contamination stuck on there. Then take some clay bar and gently clay that off of your car. That's the deep clean, if you like. Secondly, the glass needs to be dirt-free and grease-free. Now, typically, most glass, if it's well maintained, when you wash your car, the shampoo detergent will get your glass screen degreased and clean enough. Okay, but if it's not and it's got like a greasy layer of road film on it and you don't think it's clean, then you can use a glass cleaner like the Soft 99 Wash Mist or Wash Mist Plus to fully degrease. I always say the analogy, and get you that squeaky clean surface, okay? So that's important. After that, you can do this when you're washing the car, and you can rinse all of the soap off of the car if you like. Quickly dry the windshield to get 99% of the water off. Doesn't matter if there's a little bit of water on there. Then use the Glaco glass compound, which is a really, really great product. You use this, it's a glass polish, but what it does is it strips the remnants of any protection or any detergent surfactant layers that are, you know, white films or anything like that that are stuck on the glass. And you'll notice if your glass is repelling water before you start using this, you have some form of protection on it. And if you've applied these before, you'll probably still have remnants of that protection around the area where the wiper blade doesn't work. The main thing which strips glass sealants is the wiper blade, okay? So you'll see the arc where it's disappeared and the repellent bits around the edge. Now, why I think this product is really cool is most polishes aren't effective unless you use them by machine and you really work them quite aggressively. This product is effective when you use it by hand, and that's really cool. You don't have to burn that many calories. You know, literally a few circuits of an area will strip what's on there, in my experience. So you just go along quite quickly, work in circles, do a pass, then go back, do a horizontal pass. Just make sure you don't miss any. The other cool thing about this product is it's water soluble. So your car's all wet at this stage. You're getting your windscreen covered in polish, but you've got all your pressure washer out or your hose out. So when you finish this, you can just rinse it off of the car. And if you get any bits that don't rinse off, you've got your wash mitt out and you can just wash it off with the wash mitt. But it comes off very, very easily, very rapidly. So the prep I've learned for Soft 99 glass sealants is actually quite quick, which is important because you've got so many jobs to do on the car. You know, you want each job done efficiently, I think. So there we go. So you've cleaned the glass, decontaminated it, cleaned it, polished it. Now you're ready to go on with the sealant, which is actually the really, really easy bit in my opinion. Now at this stage, I want the glass to be dry, and you just take the lid off your applicator. If it's brand new, your felt tip on the applicator is going to need a bit of priming to get that liquid spread through it, but that happens very quickly. So you can just place it on the screen, squeeze and work in circles until you see the liquid start coming out, okay? And then what you can do is spread the liquid over the windshield. And the way I like to do it now is just do one very quick application in circles where you just get it all out. So you've got your liquid over that section. And when you've done that, go back over it with a crosshatch pass. So left to right, up and down, or just up and down, as long as you've got full coverage. Don't leave any gaps, because you want full coverage, obviously, to get the full hydrophobic effect. But if you do crosshatch, make sure that your last pass is up and down, because I think it's harder to notice the glass sealant when you've got it up and down. So that's just one thing I've noticed. Never finish with a circular pass, because if it dries, you can sometimes see those circles after you buff. It's much harder to spot when you go in straight lines. So there's a top application tip. You allow these products to cure for 5 to 10 minutes. They will dry. They should be dry, okay? There is a difference in the cures. You'll notice these two products here, the orange bottle ones, form quite a hard layer to spot. It's quite opaque. So you have to really look to see if it's dried. This stuff cures a little bit whiter, like a polish almost, and creates a white haze. I quite like that, because then I know when I'm buffing it, if I miss a bit, I can see it a little bit easier. So that's a good little marker to me. Once the products have cured and you've got a dry film of them over there, all you do is take a microfiber cloth, and I would use a glass towel that doesn't have loads of fibres, because whenever you're buffing on cloths, you can pull fibres. So a nap-free towel of your choice. A damp towel just helps remove the product. So you can spritz some water in it, you can squeeze, put a little bit of water in it, squeeze it out. Shouldn't be soaking wet, just damp. Wipe over it. That damp wipe should get 99% of the product off. But then if you go back over it with a dry cloth to give you that perfect glass, with no smears, no product left anywhere in the corners or whatever, just that final wipe over. At that point, you are done. The only other tip I would give you is, do not, at this point, go and get your hose and start playing around looking at the beading of the product. Just leave it well alone. In fact, just don't do that. As a YouTuber, I have to do that, and I like to leave it a few hours before I poke water at it, just to fully cure off. Ideally, leave it overnight. It's fine to leave the car outside while it's curing. The way I kind of describe it, and I'm making this up as I go along, I think you get to 99% cured within half an hour, but I think it carries on curing perhaps for another 24 hours to get to that 100% cure. Don't quote me on any of that. But it's a good rule of thumb to just leave any form of sealant that you put on a car. Leave it alone. Don't poke water at it unless you're doing a YouTube video. So there we go, guys. Application is really, really simple. Okay, so we have 3 windshield sealants in this lineup. The Glaco DX, and the Glaco Ultra. John, which one should I use? Well, the good news is, when you install these 3 glass sealants onto your glass, in layman's terms, you're going to struggle to see the difference between them in performance, okay? They are all very, very hydrophobic. They all have felt applicators. They all have the same application process. So any one of them is going to do the job. But there are some subtle things that you'll notice if you are a detailing nerd like me, and you go through and you test things very carefully, or reasonably carefully, or not that carefully. You just have a go. Okay, so the first product, why should you buy the original Glaco? Well, in my head, you get tons of product for your money, and there might be deals on this where it's cheap. You get loads of liquid. It's very easy to apply. It's hydrophobic. Okay, it sets a decent benchmark, and it's been around for absolutely, ages. Donkey's years is the word I'm looking for. The next product, the DX, why would you look to do this? Well, this is a recent product that's been brought about by an innovation in technology, a new SARF technology, rapid adhesion technology. This is also the most hydrophobic out of these products, but it's very difficult to separate them because they're all so hydrophobic, but it is the most hydrophobic. The Glaco DX also comes with a really cool modern applicator that's got a little bit of play there, so that when you're reaching over on a large windscreen. It makes it a little bit less easier to apply and less risk of it kind of rocking on the windscreen. Is there a massive difference in durability between the DX and the Glaco product? I would say the DX lasts slightly longer, maybe another 10-20%, something like that. But the main claim to fame is it's a modern technology which is slightly more hydrophobic. That hydrophobicity is really important if you want to see the water rolling off at lower speeds. So, for example, this might roll off at 30 to 40 miles an hour. The Glaco Ultra, you might need a little bit more speed. So that's important to some people because it's a measure of performance that you can actually gauge. And finally, guys, the Glaco Ultra. This is my favourite product of the three. Why? Because the durability is really, really impressive for a product that's very, very easy to apply, in my opinion. It will do up to 12 months and it will actually achieve that, obviously depending on how often you're using the car. If you're doing 1,000 miles a day in horrible winter conditions, then it's going to strip it very, very quickly compared to doing 100 miles a week, you know. So there is that, but the durability is fantastic. I think it has some benefits in terms of when you get that road salt, that time of the year where they salt the roads and it comes up on the glass and you get that horrible white film. I think there's some benefits with having this. It's also being fluoropolymer based, very low friction. So I think these products, when you apply them properly, should help with wiper judder. Now we talked about maintaining them. What's the top tip for getting the most out of your glass sealant? Tip number one, replace your wiper blades if they need to be replaced, okay? Check them. They should be nice and soft rubber and new and feel good. They shouldn't be brittle. They shouldn't be dirty, covered in grit and grime, all that sort of stuff. Tip number two, to maintain them, you could top up the protection with a cleaner sealant like Glaco periodically. So that will just put another layer, if you like. Not as potent, not as powerful as these, but it just helps maintain that on application hydrophobicity, which is a good thing. And the third tip, I think, is just to keep your car generally clean. I think if if it gets heavily dirty and your windscreen wiper blades are going backwards and forwards over a layer of kind of dirty film on the glass, then it's going to be more abrasive. You're probably going to strip it more. You're probably also going to put those fine scratches in your glass more. So try and keep your car clean once a week or once every 2 weeks, like we've spoken before, so that essentially your wiper blades, it's just the wiper blades, rainwater, and the sealant. Those three products, you'll get the maximum efficiency. Throw dirt in the mix and it's never as good, is it? So there's some tips for maintaining your glass sealant as well. And finally, guys, a huge thank you to Soft99 for sponsoring this video. There is more good news though. Apparently once every 4 years we have an extra day in the month of February. Now, I don't know what the date is. I don't know what the month is. I don't even know what the year is. But on the 29th of February, which may well be the day this video goes live, there is going to be 20% off Soft99 products, which is a bit of a bargain. So if you're interested in trying these products, now is the time, because you're going to get a healthy, substantial, whopping discount. So go and have a look at these glass sealants if you've not tried them. But don't forget that Glaco range also has lots of other cool glass sealant products that we've featured on our channel. So check the description for a link of where you can get that deal from Soft99. Other than that, guys, take care and thank you very much for watching. We'll see you soon on the Forensics Detailing channel.
Holding on to what I knew, but the moment's gone. Where was I?